Facebook.
Je vais aller checker Facebook.
Ouais, ok.
See if we can figure this out. Hello and welcome to House and Bros live.
Woo! Live from the bar.
Literally live with seconds to spare. Alright, right over here.
Sorry.
The live video will begin in a moment. Oh!
Where?
And it seems to be working now.
Or
you're going to have both? I was going to have the Facebook on my side.
Take care of the Facebook, I take care of the YouTube. Why is it working?
Seems to be
On
working.
YouTube?
I don't know, is it?
Oh.
Now we're going on Facebook?
Yeah, YouTube's fine.
Okay.
Facebook looks fine. Not
I
really.
don't see anything right now.
Oh. It says live. Live. It says live.
It says live, but it's not working on my side.
Damn. And it's not working.
Let us know in the comments below if you can see it.
Oh, it's right there. On YouTube, it's right there. I have it. Okay, perfect. Health is good of the stream. Live chat is on. Let's play on that so we can see it.
There's still nothing on my side.
Not working?
Oh.
Are you back?
Might be.
I'll go see. Nothing's happening on yours.
No, eh?
But we have two people on YouTube, so say hi.
Hi, people on YouTube.
Due to poor wireless
connection. You made
connection.
the good choice to go on that one.
You have poor wireless connection on this one. Weird. Weird. Oh, I see you. I hear you. Cool. Perfect. That's Taylor. Taylor from
Taylor.
all the way up from Alberta. Okay, perfect. I'll go sit down in front while I entertain Max. Max or you guys. Yes, so today we're talking about beer pricing in general. So before we start, how's the beer pricing in your region right now? So here in Ottawa, we have Gatineau, we have access to pricing in Quebec and Ontario. So we see the two different provinces, how they do the pricing of the beer. But we'd like to know from you guys, what's your limit? What's expensive? What's cheap for you guys? I know that's kind of like a thread that Drunk Pokeroo already started a little bit on Twitter. He sent a couple of little hints over there, and also a couple of I forgot the name. Just asking questions for everyone to see like what's expensive for you. What's the most expensive beer you've ever bought? So it's really interesting for that. Oh, we already have Taylor, so he would says that in Alberta, you're in Alberta, so it's expensive. So government taxes all imports. So example for a 4-pack of Dieu du Ciel, which we can buy $18. Yeah, how much do we pay for Dieu du Ciel, Max? Usually, not Dieu du Ciel, Dieu du Ciel. Something like
I don't know.
15?
Yeah, about that, I guess.
Not so close. It's like a $3 difference. Not that much. We still pay like the big bucks at the specialty shops down there. So how's the Facebook feed looking, Max?
Well, take care of the.
Not good.
No, not good right now.
Okay, cool, perfect. So, is it still working well on YouTube?
Yeah,
I see it from here. Yeah, okay, perfect. So yes, beer pricing. For my part, I think we like paying $20 for a bottle is expensive. More than that is really expensive. So I've already bought beers at $20 and more. I don't feel ashamed from it because these beers were really, really good. But I won't buy that every single day, and paying more for like it's also every time like a really fancy bottle. It looks nice. It's quart, you get the cage, you get the fancy bottling all around it, which is really cool. But it's also like, it looks nice. So you buy the bottle, you bring it back home, and it just works fantastic. So that's why I think there's kind of like a middle way. Like you'll pay bigger bucks for an IPA because hops are a little bit more expensive. So should we take a break, Max?
No, we're just getting rid of the Facebook. We're gonna go.
Yeah.
Only YouTube.
Only YouTube for now.
That's
okay.
Gonna fix it.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Playing around with this. All right.
Premiere stream. Bitrate's not really good too here.
So this live video is the least organized live video we've ever had.
Yes, exactly.
And also the more boring one. So keep on listening. It might change. I don't know. We'll see. So beer pricing. A lot of different provinces, as you were saying earlier with Alberta, versus in Halifax, same concept where the beer is very, very expensive. So for an IPA that here you would pay maybe $3.30, $3.50, you're going to pay at least $4 over there. That's the one thing I realized when I got there. I'm like, wow, beer's expensive here, like super expensive. For the best, for the worst, I don't know, it kind of sucks, but it is what it is. It's easy to forget when you live here that not everywhere has the same access as the same, even like just quality ingredients and shit like that. Now, why I'm saying this is because distribution. No, what do I want to say? Yes, okay.
We're not complaining about distribution, but yes, distribution is a key factor into the price of the beer, the pricing of the beer.
Okay, so say you are on an island versus you're on the mainland, you're going to get access to ingredients a lot easier. Versus on the island where you have to pay the boat guy to get you the ingredients and all that stuff. So the further out you go from your resources, the more expensive it's going to be, and that's when you have to offset the cost on the beer itself. Which is why I'm assuming a lot of the beer is very expensive out east, because even the breweries would sell their beer a little bit more expensive. Now I'm not sure about the intricacies of the NSLC in this case versus the LCBO. I know the LCBO here takes a rather sizable. What are you doing?
I'm sharing it here so they can come see us on YouTube since it's not working. That's why. Sorry about that. I'll be back in the discussion in a few seconds.
So, for the LCBO, they take X amount of cut, but they also force you to sell your beer at the exact same price in your own establishment. So what it does is that you do, yes, a little bit more profit when you're selling it outside of the brewery versus if you're selling it in the LCBO, but you don't get as big of a market, so that's why they tend to take a bigger cut. Now, I'm assuming in Halifax and in Nova Scotia, it's the same concept than everywhere else in Canada. So what happens is that your beer, initially, the cost is a little more expensive, and then they want you to sell it exactly the cost that they want.
Yeah.
Do you have any other comments on that?
Nope, not so far, not so far, yeah.
Okay.
I don't. They changed the whole layout, so it's super different. Oh, live control room. No, that's where I'm at. Okay, perfect. Yeah, they changed it a little bit, so I have trouble seeing who's there and who's not. Sorry about that. But yes, sorry for the kind of like shitty way it went. We were kind of ready, but having like one camera going down really took us by surprise. Because usually it works well. We just changed a little bit the Wi-Fi system too at the same time, so maybe it doesn't react well to having two phones streaming all together HD content. So yes, it's still HD content. Is the quality good? Is the quality good? Perfect.
So beer pricing.
What's expensive for you, Max?
I'm not gonna buy. Well, it depends on the beer, obviously. I mean, if you're having something that's barrel aged, you will spend a couple more bucks than you will for I don't know, anything that's a little more like a lager or an ale. I mean, usually I won't pay more than a couple bucks for that. So for me, expensive. $40 a bottle, I would not pay. $20, it better be something really, really good.
So $20, you'll pay for it.
It better be something I really want.
40 not, but 30.
40 not really. 30 not really either.
Yeah.
You know, I don't see, because even the Rodenbach is about $13, $14 a bottle. I think it was 15 last time I checked. But anyway, so for like 15 you get a Rodenbach. So why would I go pay $30 for a bottle of beer? I mean, I get that it might be something a little more exclusive, a little more, a little different, but I find that's very expensive. Well, where's your cost? Why is it costing me $30? Is it just the name behind it, or is it really worth the $30?
That's where I tend to kind of like have some issues with it. Like, yes, the beer might be good, but if you only raise your prices for the name of the beer or like whatever, like it's backing up, like a nice label, all that stuff. Yes, I just said that I love buying an expensive bottle that looks nice. Yeah. I love like. It just creates an added value to your product, and it looks nicer, it feels better at the same time, but after you're opening up the bottle, tossing it in the recycling bin, it's in your glass, you're drinking it, then the whole bottle thing is just now it's just liquid, so you just paid for liquid. So when I see like bottles, I think it's just different. I've paid for like $30 for a bottle. Like I shared with a friend, but at a bar. So the beer itself might be less than that, but the bar
There's
tastes
probably like a bottle that was worth $10.
Maybe.
They market it up to 30 because that's about what bars do. They're going to go 3 times the price, give or take.
At Farmstead, you can buy $60 to $80 bottle over there, like at the bar.
But is it worth it? Like, what is that bottle? What does it do?
It's like the special edition one, and it's from Farmstead, and it's cellared and all that stuff, so it's ready to go and to drink. But I've seen some people drinking it. So if you're 4 guys, it's $20 each for a glass.
Yeah,
that's a lot. That's a lot of money for one single glass of beer.
It is. I mean, but it might be the best beer you've ever had. It might be totally worth it. Now, the best beer that we ever had, the Assemblage, le Lambic, what's the name of the brewery again? À l'affût, was $20.
Yeah,
$20 a bottle, which for me is very expensive.
Yeah.
But it was totally worth the $20.
Yeah.
So it also depends. But then again, taste is subjective. Not everyone has the same receptors or reception to different kinds of taste. So you might be a big fan of IPAs, as your neighbor is going to hate IPAs.
Yeah, exactly.
So the same bottle for one to the other might not be worth what it actually is. We have another comment from Taylor.
Yes, Taylor said that El Apothecary is $65. I don't know that beer, but I'll look it up. But Cantillon $45 for a bottle.
That's the other thing.
But he says that the trade value is higher. So if you have a you have a Cantillon in your possession, then you have like a higher trade value if you want to trade it for other beers.
That's the other thing. I don't care about the trade value because if I buy something, it's because I want to consume it, I want to drink it, I want to experience it.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking of what am I going to trade it for, what am I going to sell it for.
A lot of people are doing this.
That's another debate altogether.
The beer mailing we had a little bit. We talked about it a little bit about like should you go with like money for money or beer for beer or quantity for quantity.
And that's the other thing, right?
Like we talked with BAOS on that.
Yeah. I mean that's the other thing. Maybe one beer is worth more to you than another.
Yeah.
So I mean, where do you separate all that stuff? Now, if we're talking about just the raw price of a beer, sure. Maybe once in a while you buy a beer that's a little more expensive because you want to treat yourself, or you have a guest coming home and you want to impress them with what you have.
Yeah.
That's what I do. It's not a week to week.
Yeah. I have my $20 bottles and they're in my cellar, but they're $20. So every time I'm like, I need like a special occasion to drink them. I can't really go on a Monday night after a shitty day, open up a $20 bottle and say nothing about it and keep it for myself. No, I'll share it with someone, and that's the way I see it. But by myself, I'll buy it alone, but I'll share it with someone. Mm-hmm. So overall, you need to, I don't know, it's the way I feel, but still, I get pissed off when I see a tall boy retailed at $6 when I can get some from the same quality at $4 too. Yeah. I think there's a contrast on that, and I think that the price point might not be fair on that. I don't know if not fair, but not cool on that side of things. Like, yes, it's a really good IPA. I can get a tall boy for $4. Then I go at this shop, buy this IPA, and it's $6 for a tall boy. Mm-hmm. What's the difference? It's overall
there might not be any difference. Beers. It might be both great beers, and you're paying more for the branding behind it, for the name behind it.
Exactly.
There's also, and I don't want to bring this up necessarily, but contract brewing where you're going to have the same prices as you're going to have in your real brewery. Yeah. But there's got to be a different cost there. I'm not actually sure because I've never worked for a contract brewery, so I'm not sure. You do have to buy the beer, you have to buy it for X amount of price, and you're putting more money into marketing. But you don't have to pay any employees, you don't have to pay a lot of other things that a normal brewery would have to pay.
You're focused on the other things, but also I think you still have to pay for your beer as it should be a little less expensive, but
it might not. I mean, you're still using the exact same ingredient, so it would probably be.
I won't pay like $6 for a contract brewing.
Well, you probably won't know though. That's the other thing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I might.
I'm putting my mouth in
my feet in my mouth right now. Yeah. That's what I'm doing.
But it's not a debate on contract brewing or any of that. It's mostly just the price of the beer. Yeah. Which I mean, I have bought an IPA for $4.50 as I have bought an IPA for $10. I mean, it really depends on what mood you're in as well.
Exactly, yeah.
And what kind of money you have. Now, if you have a lesser budget and you still want to drink craft, there's also ways to do it. There's a bunch of great craft brewery that have inexpensive beer, at least cheaper beers than your big guys.
Yeah.
But it's also it's a slippery slope because you start drinking those ones and you're gonna want the bigger and bolder ones eventually.
Yeah.
But there's no winning really.
That's what happened to me when I went to the Alchemist in Stowe, Vermont. So you show up and yes, there's a price per can, but you can't buy less than 4.
Yeah,
that's how it works. So yeah, the price.
There's a couple breweries
nice.
that are like that, which I get. If you're buying 4, then they're making a bigger profit margin, so they can actually put the individual product a little cheaper. Which, alright, cool. But I don't want 4 of those. I actually want 1 of each of your beers, and that doesn't work.
And make my own custom 4-pack at that same price.
So like logically, I get it. I really do. But it's kind of a dick move in some points, and you're hurting yourself at some point as well. The brewery I'm thinking of right now, when you go on location, you got to buy 4 of it. Yet you go to LCBO and you can buy 1.
Yeah.
Which right there's an issue. So that means that I'm not going to go to your location. I'm going to go to the LCBO to get the beer that I want in the quantity that I want.
And that might not be as fresh as it is at the brewery because of that.
Exactly. The other thing is that I'm going to your brewery, you're already making a bigger profit margin than you would be if I would go to the LCBO. Mm-hmm. You're making literally 100% more money from that than you are if I went to the LCBO. So I don't really get it. I don't get forcing someone to buy a set amount of one type of beer. There might be a reason. There might be some reason why, but I don't know.
I guess it's a subtle way to upsell someone on your beer, on your own product.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I see it.
It's exactly what it is.
It's just...
At the same time, you can put a 4-pack on the side of your fridge, and people are going to go, oh, a 4-pack, I'm going to fill it up and leave. Same thing, a 6-pack, put something more, and they're going to fill it up. They're not going to buy just 3, and if they do, then, I mean, they might taste those 3 come back, or they were not the customers you wanted in the first place.
Exactly, so it's just a weird move that I'm not really in love with.
No, I'm sure there's other ways around it.
I'm pretty sure, but I don't know. I've seen that a lot in Vermont, where like you can't buy less than a 4-pack.
Yeah,
it's just not happening.
Well, it's rare that we leave a brewery without buying a 4-pack.
Yeah, usually I
buy a couple. Yeah,
I always buy a couple,
just 2.
And it's just, and I'll never buy 1 except if it's really expensive. But even that, I rarely buy just 1. Even if I go to like Brewing, which is our local beer store, I always get out of there with 3 or more beers. Yeah. Always. And it's just, I know we have 101 to do on this kind of beer. I'll buy just 1. That's what I said in my mind. But every time, oh, there's that. It's new. Let's review this one. Or, oh, this could be cool. Or it's just always that way. I guess as a beer geek, I feel that way. But
we're not everyone. We're a very specific breed of people who actively want to buy different beers all the time, which is why a lot of breweries, they don't necessarily like the beer geeks because, they're going to drink your beer and talk about it, but they're going to do it once.
Yeah.
Which is true, but they're going to influence a bunch of other people, which is a little bit
Net says it's hard to buy 1.
It's very hard to buy one beer.
Hard to buy 1 beer.
Is it possible? Like, have we done that in the past? I don't believe...
I'm trying.
Because, I mean...
like, maybe one-offs, like when we get a limit of 1 per customer, but usually we buy 1, then a couple of other ones.
Yeah. Like, even in pair numbers, you're going to probably want to fill that up to 4. I mean, with beer drinking is very communal, and usually when you share a beer, well, you've got 2.
Yeah.
Which is the way I saw it, even as a kid. It might just be the marketing behind the macro brewers where they had the 6-packs, the 12-packs, 24-packs. It was always pair numbers. They never had impair numbers. It might be why I see it as it has to be a pair number.
Yeah, maybe it's all ingrained in our own, like...
It might be, but I mean, I'm looking forward to future generations because I do see younger folks in breweries from time to time trying craft beer and getting used to it.
Yeah.
Not as much as I'd like. I'd like to see a lot more, but there are some.
It's getting there. It's
definitely getting there, yeah.
I think that a lot of, like, it's fun to see that grow, and I think the price, overall, the whole discussion, why we wanted to talk about it is to see if it really matters to you guys, because overall on their side, it doesn't really matter how much a beer costs. Oh, Bud Light comes in packs of 15.
Recently or back in the day?
I don't know. I think you can buy in 15, and Tremblay in Quebec does 15s too. Because if you look at the case, it's just 3 more.
3 more, okay.
So you can fit it. And they give a free toque with it. I remember it. It's the cheapest one at the grocery store, which is it's recent in BC. Okay, but in Quebec, it's been like forever.
Yeah, I guess I do remember a couple things here and there that he would add, like a row of beer for whatever event or whatever reason, or just to try to promote their products, Super Bowl stuff, and things like that. So yeah, I do remember those, but still, for me, it was always just a pair number. At least the original one was pair numbers.
Yeah. Exactly. But it's that's what I was rambling about. Yeah. So I think it doesn't really matter overall how the pricing affect us as beer geek buyers, but I do get offended a little bit sometimes. I think.
Well, I mean, there's the other night. We're not going to get into the brewery or anything.
Yeah.
But we went in. We had a couple beers. We'll buy a couple beers. We had a couple of 5-ounce beers.
Yeah.
And then we left with some beer as well, and it cost us $46 each.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, the beer's good. The beer was excellent, but it is pretty steep.
Yeah.
It's for 4 beers, basically. Four bottles.
Yeah, so we split the bill for 2. So 10 5-ounce plus 4 bottles.
So $92.
$92
for one, basically for one night out and for a couple of beers to bring out. Which is ridiculously expensive.
I think we can get the same experience in other bars around beer bars where you pay $1 for an ounce. I think it's ridiculous.
Oh,
to pay $1 for an ounce, it's stupid.
Yeah.
But I know I've paid and I like it and it's fun. It's always great beers. Usually it's special brews and all that stuff, and you can experiment on that stuff. Yeah. But it's $1 an ounce. Yeah. It's expensive.
It gets expensive. So it
and really... I know they get like a special price on the keg. Like they paid for the big thing. I'm sure they make good amount of money on that specific beer.
Definitely. Now the other thing is, what's your budget? I mean, when it comes down to it, is can you afford the $20 bottle? Can you afford the $30 bottle? If you can't, you don't have to buy those. There's a lot of other options that are a lot cheaper that are going to be as good. Yeah. It also depends on what you want to do with that money. Is it just drinking beer? Is that the only thing you want to do? Is that your pastime? In that case, then maybe it is worth the $20. Maybe it is worth the $30. Maybe you'll buy a bottle at $100-something for it. Who knows? Who knows?
Which is there's like the most expensive beer in the world, which is like Brewdog in Scotland. The Hit and Run beer.
Hit and Run, how much? The squirrels.
The squirrel.
Yeah, the taxidermied squirrels and different rodents around your beer, which I think goes for a couple $1,000 a bottle, no?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you get the Samuel Adams Utopia
at
$100 too.
Yeah, so there are some very expensive beers, but those I think are almost more publicity stunts. You make a very expensive beer, people talk about it, they say how ridiculous it is, and then you have the 1% that goes, okay, I'm going to buy this because it's very expensive and a lot of people are talking about it. It's one way of doing it. Definitely not a bad way because clearly it works.
But for that budget, I won't buy it.
No, I would not be able to afford it. Even if I made a lot of money, I would have a hard time going, I'm going to buy this bottle. Hell, I have a hard time buying a bottle of scotch at $60. Yes. And I love scotch. I'm a big fan of scotch, but sometimes it gets expensive. So it's a treat that I have once a year. I'll buy a good bottle of scotch.
We have a little, so Taylor Sylvie says, price doesn't matter to me so long as there's reasoning, i.e. barrel-aged, spontaneous fermentation, lots of fruit or hops. So yes,
that's a good point.
Ingredients are a big.
I mean, most of the cost of your beer should be the ingredients, and then the production. It's kind of it goes hand in hand.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's the thing, is you're entirely correct. I mean, you want your IPA at X amount of price.
Yeah, exactly.
But it has hops in it. Hops aren't cheap.
Yeah.
You've got to buy the hops to put in there, so you are going to pay a little more. And I guess it's what we were saying the whole time, where as long as there's a good reason why the beer is priced so, then it's not so bad. I mean, it's okay, cool, you buy it, you don't buy it.
I've never been really sad of buying an expensive beer. Usually, I get my money's worth and I'm really happy. For the times that happen, it just means I will never buy it again.
yeah, if it's not good, and that's the other thing is if I go to a brewery and I see, oh, there's this bottle at even, let's say $9 or $10 or $11 or $12.
Yeah.
The thing is, I'm going to expect to be able to taste it if I'm at the actual brewery.
Mm-hmm.
It's very hard for me to buy a bottle and go, okay, so I'm going to dish out this amount of money and I can't even taste it. Then there's a little something there, you know? Like, is it worth it? Is it not worth it? Because at the end of the day, that's the other thing, is if you know that it might not be your beer, then you might not want to buy it. You might want to go invest in something that you know you'll like, even though you might be surprised. Follow your budget.
That's what I'm doing every single week. So every single week, I owe myself a budget of $40 for beer. So sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 3, sometimes I buy a 6-pack. It depends on where I'm buying it and what I'm buying in general. So yes, sometimes I get out of the beer store and I bought 3 beers, cost me $45. I busted my budget. I only have 3 beers, and yes, one of them wasn't what I was expecting. And that's how you discover stuff. And we do tend to talk a lot about what we do really enjoy, but we keep ourselves on the positive side of beer stuff. We drink a lot of beers. So what I was
going to say is that you see, we're an iceberg. We are an iceberg. You see the tip, but there's a lot that you don't see. So like we choose.
Do you call it like an iceberg? Like we're the nice part of the iceberg.
Yeah, we're the nice part of the iceberg the iceberg. So yeah, you will see a couple beers that we want to talk about. We want a review. We want to know more about the style. Yeah. But there's a lot of other beers and other things that you don't see.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I think is true for a lot of you guys as well.
Yeah.
You probably buy a lot of beers that you're going to talk to your buddies about, and there's probably some beers that you just never talk to about ever again.
Like, forget about it.
Yeah.
Speaking of forgetting about it, I think it runs up a little bit or a little live. We had some issues at the beginning.
So just skip the first couple minutes and then
skip the first couple of minutes.
I don't know how you're gonna figure out to do that, but we'll figure something out.
Yeah, but it like saves after, so people.
Yeah, but I mean, people who are at this point will already.
Oh damn! Oh shit! Didn't thought about that.
So, anyways, we'll figure out a way.
Yeah, we'll figure out a way. So this covers up a little bit or a little rant, not rant, but discussion about beer pricing. Continue to put your comments down below. We'll be active the whole evening on Facebook and on YouTube. I know Facebook's not working, but YouTube, all the comments down there. We do really appreciate the support lately. It's been a crazy last week.
It is, yeah.
Right after a little rant about the YouTube, how it affected us, I did realize the support. It really showed up on like every single video, which is amazing. That's why I wanted to do the live, because I know you guys do really enjoy those lives. And
also, you know you made it big when you have haters. So we're at 2 now that had some very negative comments on our videos.
Yeah, so
keep it up. Yeah, keep it up. I mean, don't.
No, don't.
Like, there's no point in being mean. Just don't listen to the show if you don't like it.
We loved you.
Well, that's kind of weird. The fact that someone would... Anyways, that's not the point of the video, but you would watch the whole video and then complain. Then why the hell did you watch it in the first place?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's pretty much us. We are who we are from the beginning to the end, so there's not really much any changing there.
He won't shave his mustache, and I'm keeping the beard.
Yeah, exactly.
It stays. So, if you do enjoy those little lives, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and share that with your friends. This is how we get known, and also it supports the channel, it supports the beer community, help us grow, and also help us do more projects about beer. So we're off to film this week review.
Cheers, Chris, and cheers to you guys.
Cheers,
and we'll see you in the next video, in the next live.
Yeah, which hopefully will be just a little bit before Christmas.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll try
to make it happen. I don't know, maybe just a Christmas live celebration. We'll see. Depends. We're quite busy right now.
Always. Cheers. And the awkward part where we have to go and end it. What button?
This?